This is Louis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Good to see Kieran Farrell here today at the Matchroom Gym. Just finished Sparring Maisie Rose with Emily Whitworth. All rosies, the pro debut on 26th of October, one you must be really excited for.
Can't wait for, mate. Can't wait for. Obviously, this is what we've been working since she was 12, 13 year old when she come to me, and she's done everything in the amateurs. She's won 5 national titles, European gold medal, and world medals, and she boxed for Team GB, and then we're here now. We're sparring Maisie Rose, and she got a debut in 2 weeks, so buzzing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess with someone like you, you've been working with Emily for so long. It must be like a bit of a proud moment to see, like, obviously all the GB achievements and the pro debut. It's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, like Emily's like family. She's living at the house at the minute. You know what I mean? She's been with us, like I say, for a long time, and to do everything with her, and to be now transition into the professional game, it's nice. You know what I mean? It's a nice touch, and I think, you know what? It's been a good few years, but it's also something where other people can learn from as well. She listened to everything I said. She'd done everything I said, and she had all the success in the world. And now we're here now. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I actually did want to talk to you about, and when you've got, I guess, fighters like Emily, who they've had that amateur background, and they've clearly the ability's there. Do you know what I mean? The ability's there to be said. And like when it comes to transitioning pro, what is it that you do that, like, little tweaks to sort of transition them over? Maybe not in an ability sense, but like, how do you sort of adapt them? Would you say?
To be honest, you see a lot of amateurs really hyperactive on the feet now. Listen. A lot of people will see me in the gym and think, wow, he's fasting. I like to sort of keep that. It's like Lomachenko, you put yourself in positions to hit people where you can't get hit. So the sport, I actually said to her in the last round of the sparring, like, listen, the sport is hit, don't get hit. That's what it is, you know what I mean? So like, if you can hit and not get hit, you're winning, you know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to do, you know what I mean? And I think obviously she's only doing 4-2s. She's been doing actually longer as an amateur, 3-3s. Than a pro debut. She's doing 4-2s, but it's about for now it's just about keeping her quick, keeping her putting her positions all the time for her to land the shots what you can't see, they're the ones what hurt you. And to be fair, with women's boxing being like 10-2s max, it's like there ain't much. She's just got to get fitter, just be fitter, and be able to do that at a higher level where you're against another good girl who's thinking as well, and keep your pace up, you know what I mean?
So would you say the adaptation's a lot easier for a girl to do it than either of the lads?
Yeah, definitely, because I think with the lads is like you say, they go straight into 4-3s, and I know they started the 3-3s in amateurs and stuff like that, but the 4-3s, the extra 3 minutes, it just takes its wear and tear, you know what I mean? Especially when you're in with a man. A lot of young lads, especially now with the Olympics, how it is and all that, you'll get a lot of 18, 19-year-old kids turning pro when they're kids. And they got to learn how to do it with a man, you know what I mean? Because like you could be getting as many stoppages as you want in the amateurs against over 18, 19-year-old lads, but then you fight a professional boxer who's a man, it's a bit different, you know what I mean? So yeah.
100%. And sort of the last one on Emily, and getting that professional, GB she would have been getting an England squad, she would have been getting such good sparring anyway, but to get good professional sparring, as you say, that is crucial as well, because for when she does come up against it in her career.
Yeah, definitely. Emily's done the rounds, she's been all over the show, we've sparred loads of people, and I think just especially for the last few weeks now, just sharpening up, and Maisie Rose is a top operator, you know what I mean? She's a good fighter, you know what I mean? So it's always good to come up here and do a little bit with Maisie, like.
Definitely. Just moving on, and it'd be wrong for me not to ask you about Daniel Dubois. Such a great night a couple of weeks ago, and I think it just that night just epitomised everything that yourself and Don, especially sort of yourself and the work that you put in, especially this year. And I think a lot of people, when you look back as a year does come to a close, would have Daniel Dubois as their fighter of the year. Like when you started, I guess in January to see now, like is it a bit of a surprise?
Yeah, so it was a mad one. How it all come about. I was in Saudi Arabia in January and February. I was actually working at Mike Tyson boxing gym over there, and I come back and then I got a message from a friend of mine. He said, I just spoke to Stan Dubois, Daniel's dad, he wants you to work with Daniel. I'm like, sound, fuck it, I'll come on Monday. I went on Monday and I was there every day since, you know what I mean? So for the last 7 months now, I've been working with Daniel every day, and I think it all come together right on the night, you know what I mean? Like everything, we had a few mistakes in the Jurgovic fight, and then we put everything right, you know, like basically we got caught with 2 right hands off the Olympic gold medalist, 2-time world champion, you know what I mean? So like we did really good, you know what I mean? And, I think Daniel's just coming into his own. He's 27, he's a baby. You know what I mean? It's scary. You know what I mean? He's a scary prospect. Like, you know what I mean? And he's a champion. He's not a prospect. He's a champion, but he's a scary champion because, like I say, the way the heavyweight division is, like, you know, you're looking at a young lad there who could rule the division for a few years to come, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I was going to say that, like, did you see almost on Saturday, as we see obviously 21st of December, we see Fury Usyk too, but we see on the 21st, on that night against AJ, like, it's almost like we've entered a new era of heavyweights with Dubois leading the pack.
If you coming through, Johnny Fisher's coming through, you got Moses Tolman, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's good, man, you know what I mean? That's what it was all about. It's like I say, with boxing, it's always from the grassroots, it's always from the amateur, you know what I mean? And each year you're going to keep seeing kids coming through all the time, you know what I mean? And, you know, Moses Tolman was always destined to come, you know what I mean? He'll be up there soon, you know what I mean? He's always, so everyone sort of knows his name already, but he'll be up there soon, you know what I mean? Definitely, I think he's definitely going to be a future world champion, you know what I mean?
What do you think it has been about Daniel that he has turned this corner? Like, when you look back on sort of, I guess, a year ago with the Usyk fight, and even sort of the Joyce fight, and now he's sort of turned this corner where he's such a, you know,
I look at it and think, because I've been first and foremost, before anything about Daniel Dubois, I was a fan of his, you know what I mean? I just think, fucking hell, he's great, you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to be able to do this and that with him. And as it was, when I got to, like, yes, buzzing. And Don had the same ethos with me. I'm like, let's have him moving his head, let's get moving, like, you know, like Mike Tyson, you know, like, what, 6'5" Mike Tyson, and like, I'd be an handful for anyone, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, going back to your question there, I think everyone's got, like, there's always rocks in the road, you know what I mean? There's always divots in the road. You've got to just go through and prevail. And you know what I say, like, it's like everyone looks at me like I had a bleed on the brain in 2012 and me now, and I'm doing this 98,000 at Wembley and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's about, you got to keep going. And Daniel Dubois has kept going, and that's how you only see some sort of success if you keep going. If you quit at that point where it's like, all right, everyone wrote you off, everyone said you're crap, you're not going to do it, Joyce beat you, then if he wrote it off, then you'd never hear of this story right now. But he didn't. He kept going through all the controversial moments of his career, and the Usyk fight and the loss there, and he kept going, and look where he is now, you know what I mean? He's on top of the world now, you know.
We just spoke a little bit off camera there. You said you like to work with guys who are sort of your friends in a way, and you just briefly mentioned there the adversity that you went through in your career, and Dan, you know, on a completely different level, but you've both gone through adversity. Do you think that's like you can like liken yourself?
I think Daniel respects me for everything what I've done, you know what I mean? And I think even learning about my personal life and everything, what I've had bad things happen there, and I've come through that, and I think he's a really good listener, you know what I mean? He listens to everything with what people say, and I think he probably does see similarities, and to be honest, I'll tell you with Daniel, Daniel's like a big kid, man. We go in the gym and we have a fucking good time, you know what I mean? And I think from the amateurs, from all going into the gym, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, and I put that quote a few times on Instagram posts I might have put up. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. When you're seeing Daniel Dubois smiling, ready to come in to punch your pads and to do sparring, it's dangerous, you know what I mean? And that's why you've seen how great he was against AJ. He was happy, man, you know what I mean? Like, nothing went wrong. Everything went right. The sparring went right. The training went right. Every pad session went right. Everything. It was a happy fight, and that's why he was so dangerous, you know what I mean?
One thing I actually wanted to ask you about, and Don Charles has been vocal since the fight about sort of the people that wrote off Daniel and people that were sort of disrespecting him. On TalkSport, he was very sort of very colourful towards Gareth A. Davis, not as much Adam Carroll, but Gareth especially. Like, well, I guess what have you made of that? Almost like a sort of Don going around saying the whole team, you know, we do deserve that respect.
Yeah, it's again for me. Look, I'm 34-year-old. I've got loads of time in the game, you know what I mean? But Don deserves it, man. If anyone gets Trainer of the Year this year, it should be Don Charles because of what he's done with Daniel Dubois, you know what I mean? And it's even in the inclusion of me. For him to be the head coach and say, look, bring Kieran in. And he said, listen, Kieran, he rang me, he went, Kieran, you're not a pad man. He said, you're a coach, you know what I mean? And I was like buzzing, respect, you know what I mean? Like, I get that, you know what I mean? Because I'm not just a guy who does pads. I'll talk you. I can tell you through every fight. I can say, if he throws his backhand, you got to go that way. Or if you do this, you've got to do that, you know what I mean? And that's what I always was saying to Daniel and to Don, and to put me as a coach in with him as an assistant coach and not just the pad guy, you know what I mean? I respected Don, man, and like I say, he definitely deserves the Trainer of the Year this year, but I don't know anyone who's done as good as him, you know what I mean, this year.
Just before sort of closing this off, I have to ask, like, what's next ideally? What is for yourself? Is it the AJ rematch in Riyadh? Is it an Usyk rematch? Like, what ideally, if you could pick, would you like?
If I liked, I'd love the winner of Usyk and Fury, but yeah, I don't get the pick, you know what I mean? Whoever it is, we're just preparing for the best Daniel he can be again. And you know what, to be honest, like, I think, like I say, with the inclusion of myself now in there as well, look, I'd happily take on a Usyk, but fucking let's go, man, you know what I mean? Let's go, let's have it, you know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, Daniel's a scary prospect, a scary champion, and I think he can beat anyone, that's the truth. I know that he can beat anyone, I know that he can put anyone to sleep. He even nearly put me asleep, you know what I mean? So yeah, I know what.
Do you think the Joshua rematch is ideally a potential?
If I were Joshua's people, then I'd be like, stay clear of this. We don't need this. This is the last thing we want. That 3-time world champion stuff is great, but there's ways around it. Like I say, I think I heard Paul Manalaji might have said something about, you know, getting into him title and just swerve fucking Dubois for now, you know what I mean? Just like, I think that's the best thing you should do. And if a belt becomes free because of its mandatories and all that, like the IBF did for Daniel, then go for your 3-time world champion. But and I mean, don't put it off. But like, you could be fighting. It's like the rebuild for him before he fought Dubois. There weren't any really dangerous fighters in there. Ngannou was dangerous because he's like a novice, but he was also an MMA fighter. The other guys didn't really show that. You know what I mean? Like I think the hardest fight was Franklin. You know what I mean? And that was that level. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you think the I know you obviously don't speak for AJ, but do you think that the retirement shouts for AJ are a bit harsh, or do you think there's definitely validity to it?
Look, I think like some people, and in boxing, I mean, everyone looks into your business, man. You know what I mean? So like, AJ got enough money now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, but if he's got the will to do it, and he has got, and he'll only know that deep down whether he's got it's like Mike Tyson said, who wants to get out of bed with a silk underwear on at 4 in the morning. No one does want to do that. But if AJ wants to do that, and he's still got that eye of the tiger, I was only talking to Bill about it before. It's the eye of the tiger, man. You know what I mean? People think that it's some sort of bullshit, but this eye of the tiger is a real thing. It's actually a real thing. Like, you've got to have the bit between your teeth. You've got to want it more than anyone. I tell this to any fighter, to Emily, to my son who's 8-year-old. I'm like, listen, Fraser, I don't want it more than you. You got to want it more than me. It's simple as that. You know what I mean? And if AJ doesn't want it more than Daniel Dubois, he'll never beat Daniel Dubois. He just never will. You know what I mean? So he's got to know the answers within himself. And if he says that he's ready to go again, then, and for whatever reason that may be, if it's more money or whatever, then allow it. You know what I mean? But then he's got to make that decision himself. And you know, one thing what I'd hate to see is that him get hurt. That's not what no one wants to see. You know what I mean? AJ's an icon. Me and Daniel Dubois, yeah, we're talking about it, mate. We look up to them, motherfucker. You know what I mean? We're looking up to him. We think he's fucking great. You know what I mean? But we've got business to do as well. You know what I mean? And we've got our own journeys to do. And as it was, he was in a way, and he had to get what he got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Final question from myself, and just sort of ending on this note. When the whole fight weekend, obviously all the things came out about sort of the rumours with Dan and his sort of and Dawn and that. Like, for yourself as a part of the camp, like, was that, how off-putting was that, if at all?
I just thought I was getting more money. I'm only joking. Just what's it called? It was a load of shit, you know what I mean? And we all knew that. Well, we all knew that where the source come from, who was saying it and that. But you know, like I say, we're a tight-knit, strong team. We see each other every day. We have cups of tea. We have a chat. You know what I mean? We have a laugh. We punch cakes. You know what I mean? Like, we do all sorts. You know what I mean? And we was all good. And it didn't affect me. It didn't affect Daniel. Daniel didn't go on social media. It didn't affect any of us. You know what I mean? We just got on with it and we thought, wow, what a fool. You know what I mean? What it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Definitely, Kieran. A pleasure to see you, mate. I appreciate the interview, mate. And take care, mate. Top man.